I'm going to demonstrate how to do the resist technique in stamping, and you're looking at a couple of images that I have just done. So I'm going to take you through the steps of making this image. The supplies you need for this technique will make or break your project, because certain inks and certain papers don't work together well. The paper you use has to be a glossy paper, and you will need to experiment. Some glossy papers will soak up ink nicely and others won't, and some papers will work with some inks and others won't. So I can only say that you have to experiment with this to begin with. And the next thing, you need a stamp, obviously. This one is an Anna Griffin stamp by All Night Media. You need a dye ink. Pigment ink won't work. This is that I'm using is Marvy Matchables. You will need watermark ink. I'm using this one by Versamark. The brand doesn't matter, but you need a watermark ink. And you will need a brayer. Now, I have to tell you that this brayer is not the best kind. You can get brayers in craft stores that are bigger and softer and fatter, and they work better for this technique, but I don't have one, so this will have to do. And optionally, you might want to use a heat gun, although you can omit having a heat gun if you don't already have one. Now, the first thing you do is, kind of obviously, coat your stamp with this Versamark ink, and then place your stamp on your glossy paper, press, and remove. So you can't see it very well. That's the way it's supposed to be. Now at this point you must allow your Versamark to dry. If you want, you can hit it with a heat gun and that will dry it quickly, or you can let it air dry, but you'll have a smeary mess if it's not completely dried. So the next thing, put your glossy paper with the stamp on a surface that you don't mind messing up, and coat your brayer with ink like that. Then, this may or may not work too well on the camera, but at that point you go over your image with your brayer like so. Oh, it's working quite nicely. So there you have it. That's how you make a use the resist technique. Now I'm going to put this on a card, so I'll show you the card in a minute. So here's the card I've made using that stamped image with the resist technique. I've done quite a bit of layering. I've added a little butterfly eyelet, and this along here is another stamp. And on the inside I've stamped the, I think that's a hydrangea. I've stamped it in the same dye ink. So here's another card I've made using the same stamps, but this isn't the resist technique. It's direct to paper. And this is ribbon, this is ribbon, this is cut with a punch, and on the inside a strip of ribbon and a little punch shape. So those are my cards. If you've enjoyed this video, please visit my blog at scrappingbydesign.com.